But what I've kind of done is it's all about momentum and motion. Like I feel like with these algorithms, it's like you can't just assume that you post one time compared to everybody posting 1 billion times on these apps and assume that your one snippet of a song is going to blow up. So I would say you need to put the groundwork in of building out the content. So like people know like, okay, like what was the artist's name?
Lil Ranger.
Lil Ranger?
Yeah, put some respect on his name.
All right, my fault. I had to make sure I ain't want to.
It's a funny backstory to that. That's
really?
I'm like, yeah.
I got to hear
He's
that
not
later.
a real artist, but we'll talk about it later.
All right. So like if I'm Lil Ranger at the moment and I don't got like no monthly listeners, no posts, I got to build them post up and kind of build from there. So like people aren't just like, oh, this is somebody just paid $2,000 on a single and then hope that. Yeah, exactly. Like you got to really like show people like who you are. And then that's through content. People understand who you are through content. And then when you have the single ready, that's when you're like, okay, let me create content pieces that either correlate to the song, have something mad random that helps the algorithm, or it at least follows a message.
This Side of Jersey podcast, the #1 podcast in the world, stamped. I am your host. My name is Steven. I go by Ugly Steven on Instagram. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe at TSOJ Podcast. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to follow and download at TSOJ Podcast. Now, we have a very, very, very special guest in the building today. But before we introduce him, we will get into our layup lines. So, for those who do not know, layup lines is a segment where we like to get our guests loose, and we just ask them a bunch of this or that questions, okay? So, your job is to answer in 24 seconds as fast as possible. Okay, right, sir? Here comes the timer. Not 24 minutes. You ready?
I'm ready.
Prada or Poppy Smoke?
Prada.
She Ready or Alicia Song?
She Ready.
R&B or hip-hop?
R&B.
Lumberton or Philly?
Lumberton.
Chill with the girl of your dreams or do a dream feature?
Dream feature.
Rapping your hardest 16 or writing the most catchy hook possible?
Catchiest hook.
That is your time, sir. That's crazy because it was only 10 questions, and I feel like you didn't get through them. I feel like most people get through them in 10 seconds.
That makes sense.
Not calling you inferior to anybody, but
I'm about to say
you did underperform in terms of the time.
You know what? You threw me for a loop for the first one. I ain't gonna lie.
That was not your timer, by the way. I don't want you to think you had that time.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought that redeemed me.
No. All right. Do you want to hear the rest though?
Yeah.
I take pride in these, so I kind of want you to hear the rest.
Okay.
Wait. What did you choose for 16 and catchiest hook?
I said catchiest hook.
Well, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. J. Cole or Drake?
Drake.
Okay. I feel that.
I love Cole.
I feel that for you specifically because I feel like you do more than just kind of like the you know what I mean.
You already know.
Rap. Yeah, type shit. Tory Lanez or Brent Fayez?
You would have stumped me.
Is that a banger?
You would.
That's a banger, right? I thought that.
You would have stumped me. I mean, I don't want to get to the politics of Tory and everything, but music wise,
he's fucking fire.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's call a spade a spade. He's fucking fire.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
I would have to say Tory just because of his discography.
Tell him your take about. Do you fuck with Tory Lanez like heavy, kind of low key, or are you just kind of like a?
Yeah. I mean, I don't listen to him as much as I used to, but like I remember like high school, college, like bumping him notoriously.
Okay. I don't know if you know. Recently, he put out like a 80s kind of like funk album. Did you? He has. Do you want to tell him your take about Alone at Prom?
I think he's the only artist in today's current era that could make that their full-time genre and be successful today.
I
did that album so well that I think he could
make albums like that.
Yeah. See, it's hard because I feel that, but then like The Weeknd kind of went crazy doing the 80s sound too. So it's like I feel like it would be just them two though. Yeah, that's a great
That's
point.
still a short list, and I think to be on any list with The Weeknd is
That's
amazing.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like The Weeknd is, so that makes sense.
Yeah, fire. We love Tory Lanez here. We don't like to include the politics behind it. We just like to
That's
be
what I'm saying.
objective
Just
and
strictly music.
Yeah, he's fire. Yeah, he's
Exactly.
fire. He's fire. We may have unpopular opinions about the trial too, but we're just gonna leave it. Yeah.
I'm a Brent fan too, so that's why I was like, you got me there. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not that tapped into Brent. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not proud of
That's
that.
fair.
I don't say that proudly. I'm not like fuck Brent. I'm not like that.
Yeah,
I kind of wanna. I gotta find the right.
You got it.
Brent song I heard was kind of like all right, but it wasn't like I didn't get hooked yet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I haven't heard that song yet.
I think for me, like when I first heard Brent, it was on something that wasn't his sound. This is artist from New York named Flea. He had Brent on it, and it was more like
shit.
Yeah, but it was more like a plug song.
I feel like Surf. Are you familiar with like Sue Surf?
Yes,
I think Flea was on his last album.
He probably
a
was.
few times, I think.
yeah, I think so. And no, so it's two Fleas. It's like the one in Jersey and the one in New York.
Oh, okay.
So I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I don't know, like Brent was on like a plug beat. Like it wasn't even anything similar to his R&B stuff. I'm like, he kind of tough, and I found his R&B stuff. I'm an R&B fan, so I'm like, oh yeah, like was a fan of him since.
Yeah. Okay. Are you like is R&B your number one genre?
Yeah, I won't lie.
Low key.
Yeah, like I don't create R&B 24/7, but I listen to R&B the most.
I can tell that because even in your raps, you have like harmony to them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you have like melodies and like you know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I want to finish though.
Yeah.
A very neon EP, 1 or 2?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. And short form TikToks or YouTube length music videos.
I'm still YouTube music video guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Yeah, I could kind of get into full detail. I don't know if you want me to do that now.
Sure, we got you here.
Hey, that's facts.
Yeah.
But nah, like for me, I'm always going to be long form first, just for like, I just love creating a story in videos and just seeing the full story length. And I think with short form content, it's amazing how you could kind of do that in 15, 30 seconds, but it's still not the same. Like the horizontal view, you know, the full cinematic feel for a long duration. I don't know. Like I'm still old school in that mindset. Even though I could do short form, I still love that over anything though.
That's so interesting that you say that because I feel that in the and when I say the generation under me is like I'm 20, I just turned 29, right? But like I would consider you the generation under me in terms of, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's refreshing to hear you say that because I feel like the generation under me and just going forward now, they're not into long form anything.
Nope.
Like they're not into like movies the same way they used to be. They're not into music videos. They're 100% not into albums.
Yeah.
Like 100% not into
That's
albums.
a fact.
And like I'm around kids a lot for my job, bro, and like they don't know pop. They don't know culture the way we do. They don't consume media the way we consume media.
Literally.
Right? Like even when you just mentioned the horizontal video, it's like that is my like I'm always into like cinema, right? So like I'm always if I had a preference, Instagram Reels would be horizontal and like you can watch it that way.
That'd be
what I'm
fire.
saying? That I feel like effects look better that way when you do things. Like it just looks better when you're looking at it. You know what I mean? On a horizontal view.
That's a fact.
So it's very refreshing. I say all that to say to bring it back. It's very refreshing to hear you say that you're still into like long form things that unfortunately are starting to matter less, but like to the people that like kind of grew up on it, like we love that and appreciate. You know what I mean? So
No facts, because I've always been an old soul at heart. So like I even go back to the older movies that even I wasn't even thought of. I still go back to it and watch it like, yo, this is a classic, even though I was not born in that era.
What? We're gonna stop this for a second. I'm gonna introduce you because we're gonna fucking talk.
Yeah, but we're gonna
I'm
talk
gonna
about
introduce
that.
you, and then we're gonna hold that thought because I want to talk to you about movies now that you just said that.
Right,
Ladies and
bet.
gentlemen, our guest. You guys rudely interrupted our fucking conversation. Our guest, he is an artist. He is a producer. He is an engineer. He is a videographer. He is from Lumberton, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Deige to the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Listen, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I just appreciate being here for real.
Fire, bro. Fire. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to it as well. You'd be surprised how intimidating it can be to reach out to people that you don't have a relationship with.
Yeah.
And just because like the basis of what we do is based in relationship, right? And like networking, right? So like obviously we have a strong foundation of the people that we know. But you know, it's always, you know, a test when you're reaching out to, like, you know, new parties. And
That's
like,
fast. You don't know how people be moving.
Right. And more than anything, right, like, we can talk, Tay and I can talk to you about this more off camera, but, like, we have something that we really believe in. And sometimes the fear is just, like, not selling it to the person that you want to be a part of it. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah.
like, you know, I really have something that I believe in. It's a great podcast. It's a great platform. It's a great media company that we can talk about later. But, like, you know, you can only relay that so much in a DM to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? But I want to talk to you, bro, because I, off camera, talked to you about how I perceived you first.
Yeah.
And then I got a second wave of you, and I was like, wow. Right? And that was the conversation of long-form content versus TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? When I saw you on TikTok, or it wasn't specifically TikTok, it was Reels.
Yeah.
I'm older than you, so, like, TikTok is still kind of foreign to us. So my form of TikTok is, like, Instagram Reels.
I feel that.
Like, that's TikTok to me. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair.
Which I found are people don't feel that way. They're two very different things, I feel like.
It depends who you're talking to.
Yeah. However, when I saw you on TikTok, you looked. First of all, the first thing I noticed, I think, was the work ethic, right? Because I don't usually just judge off of one video. It's kind of like I'll kind of like give your page a look and be like, oh, because I kind of want to see what you want to do, right?
Exactly.
Something that we talk about a lot with our companies, like you want to work with people who kind of already have some motion for themselves that you won't have to, like, motivate. Does that make sense? Like you're kind of already doing. You know what I'm saying? And first I noticed the volume in which you were posting, which was amazing. Then I noticed the quality to what you were posting, and I thought that was amazing. And I was like, and I heard your music, and I was like, okay, he's kind of solid. Like, I kind of want to have him on. I'm kind of interested, right?
Yeah.
And then I went to your Spotify, and I was like, the music is night and day different, to me at least. And I didn't hear the entire catalog. I can't, like, recite, you know, the 17 songs and be like, oh, but, like,
Yeah.
the impression that I got on TikTok was far different than the one I got on Spotify. On TikTok, it was trendy, fun,
Yeah.
whatever, right? However you want to describe it. Now, I don't say whatever to be disrespectful.
No.
On Spotify, bro, it was like a lot more musically inclined. It was a lot more, obviously longer form content, obviously, but, like, it was just more polished, it felt more effort went into it. It felt just different. It felt different, right? So talk to us about a little bit about kind of that approach of, like, this is kind of what's going on in my Reels and my TikToks. However, this is what's going on my, you know, DSPs and stuff like that.
Not facts. I think the real thing for me is I look at both platforms as two different algorithms. Like, obviously, the whole goal is you want to be played the most or get the most views, likes, whatever you want to call the metrics. But I look at it as, like, on Instagram, I had maybe 5 seconds to get you to keep watching. And I remember I had this conversation. Shout out to my man's Lil Goody. He blew up off TikTok. And I'm just asking him, like, how did you do it? Yada, yada. Like, you know, how do you get, like, this much traction? Yada, yada. And he's like, this all comes from posting a lot. You got to be posting more than the average person. And you got to find a way to make somebody keep listening past 3 to 5 seconds. It took me months. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you make music, when you want to hear more than 3 to 5 seconds? But then I kind of figured out how I watch Instagram and TikTok and YouTube shorts, all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't be staying on videos that long. If it don't intrigue me in the first few seconds, I'm swiping. So I treat my remixes as like, okay, can I say, like, the first bar to make you be like, wait, what did he just say? To make you replay it? Or can I say something witty or at least make it look great to where you're like, okay, I'm interested in hearing more from him. So I will say a lot of freestyles, I wouldn't say they're low effort, but in my mind, I'm just always, like, creating bars and, like, freestyling in my head. And I just love, I'm a student of the game. So I'm always gonna be thinking of bars and stuff. And instead of just, you know, throwing it away and, oh, it's not good enough for a song, it goes on a freestyle, stuff like that.
So are you looking at these when you're, okay. You're making content specifically for Instagram Reels, right? Or TikTok, let's say, right? So I know you said, like, you'll kind of pull some leftover stuff and kind of leave it for that. But are you ever, like, going into, let's say you wake up on Saturday and you're like, I'm shooting content specifically for Reels,
Yep.
right? are you always pulling that from that old library, or are you going to write something specifically, like I want to write a 16 that's just going to be for this reel?
I do that too. Sometimes I have like old stuff. I think I did a remix to which remix was it? A while back I remixed Tyler the Creator's song Worth Talk with ASAP. And like I just had that verse just sitting on my phone for a minute, and I said I'm not going to use it for anything else. But then like I did like a Nas Made You Look freestyle, and like what I do, and I recommend every content creator to do this, make like challenges for yourself, because too many times we're like, oh well, if this doesn't get 10,000 views, it sucks, or oh if I don't get this many likes, it didn't do well. I'll tell myself like not fast. But how fast and efficiently can I make this freestyle, record it, edit it, and post it and see when I could do it? That Made You Look freestyle, I recorded it one day. Next day I shot it, edited it, then next day I posted it.
When you say make projects for yourself, are you looking at each individual kind of post as its own like project, for example? Like, okay. Wow.
Yeah, because I look at it as like I'm very passionate about my work. So when I don't see it received well, I'm like, well, damn, like, what did I do wrong? Like, did I edit this cut wrong? Did I do this wrong? But if I make goals with like, you get in the studio, put your hottest verse to this song, and create content for it, it makes it a lot easier because it's a lot less pressure on me compared to, like you said, like my music on Spotify, it's like you hear more of a message. It's a little bit more polished because I really sit down when I make the music, and it's like, okay, like this is going to be for this. This is for the album. This is going to be a great single. And then this is going to be a TikTok or Instagram reel, because I don't like throwing stuff away unless it really sucks.
Let me throw something at you, bro.
Yeah,
and maybe this will help artists a little bit more. This will help artists who kind of want to achieve what you have achieved, because to me, 18,000 followers is a fucking lot of followers. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
To me, when you get the K behind your number, you're legit to me. I don't care if that number is 10. I don't care if it's 11. I don't care if it's 8 million.
Yeah.
Once you get a fucking letter next to the number, I think you're valid. Like, to me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
I feel that.
I want to throw this at you, bro, in the best way you can. If you're an artist and you want to blow up, you want to maximize your visibility.
Yeah.
I have a song, let's say. I'm a rapper. My name's Little Ranger, and I have a song, right? I want to maximize the visibility of this song. What am I doing to this song? How many ways am I breaking it up into content? What am I releasing to it? How many? You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do, Deige? Let's say. Yeah. You have a song now. You got to maximize the content for that song. What are some of the things you're gonna do?
First of all, that's a great question. Because me and my boys talk about that all the time. We're like, all right, we got this single. How we going to, what's the promotion strategy, stuff like that. What I've seen to have worked for me and other people, I still even think it even worked fully how much I wanted to. But what I've kind of done is it's all about momentum and motion. Like, I feel like with these algorithms, it's like you can't just assume that you post one time compared to everybody posting 1 billion times on these apps and assume that your one snippet of a song is going to blow up. So I would say you need to put the groundwork in of building out the content. So like people know, like, okay, like what was the artist's name?
Lil Ranger.
Lil Ranger?
Yeah, put some respect on his name.
All right, my fault. I had to make sure I ain't want to.
It's a funny backstory to that. That's
really?
Like, yeah.
I got to hear that.
He's not
later.
a real artist, but we'll talk about it later.
All right. So like if I'm Lil Ranger at the moment and I don't got like no monthly listeners, no posts, I got to build them post up and kind of build from there. So like people aren't just like, oh, this is somebody that just paid $2,000 on a single and then hope that. Yeah, exactly. Like you got to really like show people like who you are, and then that's through content. People understand who you are through content, and then when you have the single ready, that's when you're like, okay, let me create content pieces that either correlate to the song, have something mad random that helps the algorithm, or it at least follows a message.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Number 2, you said something random that was kind of feed the algorithm. What do you mean by that? So, for example, you explain what you meant by that.
Yeah. So what I mean by that is, like I did a remix the other day. I was eating donuts. Like
that's what I thought you meant. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of times we as artists like to play it safe. it's like, okay, this is a music video. Me and my boys in the background. We have a nice little place where we're shooting it at and done. But you know how many artists are doing that same thing? So it's like, if you could do like a little shock factor, I don't preach doing negative stuff. I know a lot of people do that for shock factor, but if you have something in the video that makes people
harmless, something harmless.
Yes.
That is shock factor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Something very harmless, but like it makes people like think like, why did he do that? Like I literally put in that video, I said I'm eating donuts to help the algorithm. Like I literally put it in the beginning of the video, just like as a joke of like, this is why I'm doing it. Like I'm not gonna lie to y'all, for real. But it made people understand it. Like people was like, yo, like it was funny you were just sitting there rapping, eating it, but like the remix was dope. So I would tell an artist, like, you really have to figure out those 3 steps. What's the message/story? Do you have something shocking? And does the content at least perceive your image of who you are as an artist? And then I would say you want to do, like, multiple content pieces. I recommend at least 15 for a song. I know it sounds crazy, but imagine you got 4 videos and they're like, the song's like 3 minutes long. Let's say like 3 minutes, 2 minutes long. You could cut that up into like 20 pieces each. So it's like, you don't
10-second clips for like the first 10 seconds of the song, and then like
exactly. You can even cut it to like hook, verse, hook, bridge. Like you could cut it up in so many different ways that it sounds crazy to hear like 15 to 20 pieces of content. But it's like, if you already got a music video with like 3 minutes of video, why not use every single part just chopped up?
So you could do like lyric videos to those, and then you could do like,
yep. And then that's when you get into adding the subtitles to it so people can read it. Because I wish I had the percentage, but it's a percentage on TikTok that basically more than 50% of people are watching Instagram Reels and TikToks with the sound off.
That's so valid, bro.
Yeah. Cause you got like think about it, like if you out in public and you, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like you see, like
facts,
like you see a rapper rap and it's like like I don't know if I want to play it out loud right here. I don't know what he gonna say. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what he gonna say, but like you might see the video like, oh, the video look dope. Oh wait, he said that bar. Let me hear it. And then by the time you already clicked on the volume for it to hear it, that's more watch time. Like I don't do subtitles all the time, but if it hurts the aesthetic, but I really recommend that for a lot of artists. Just me personally.
I'm trying to interview you and like take notes at the same time.
No, that's all good.
Yeah, I'm just
that's all
staring
good.
through you, trying to like. All right, yeah, I wanted to know that, bro, because I think, like I said, based on what you are doing, bro, I think you could definitely help some artists out here who, and I don't think they're rejecting the information more than just like, it's like he and I are realizing too, like. It's harder than like just sitting down and doing it sometimes. Sometimes it's not. Most of the time it's not. Mm-hmm. But like, you kind of got to hear like, okay, for example, here's what I mean. Like, we got to a point where when we started wanting to take off, we were like, okay, we got to be seen more. Yeah. So then our goal was like, we're gonna post a lot. We're gonna be seen, right? Yeah. But then it was like, okay, but what you're posting is not helping that. It's not feeding the algorithm at all, and like it's not catching attention. So you're just like posting shit.
That's fair.
So then it was like, okay, how do we now learn how to post and make shit interesting, right? Then we got to a point, we had a conversation with my boy Chris, shout out Chris, where it was like, okay, and it was what you were talking about earlier, where it was like, we posted something that we really wanted to promote, and I think that reel only had like a 5-second average view time. Yeah. And my boy Chris had sent it to, or like told us to look at it, and he was like, bro, like no one's watching this video. So if you're explaining the point of the video 10 seconds in, they're not getting to that. So then they're just clicking off. You feel what I'm saying? Fact. So it just kind of became like, learn one thing, okay, what's next to learn? Okay, now we got to do that with it. And then now we got to like, you know what I mean? And I wanted you to break that down because I feel like a lot of artists might get to the point where they kind of just think like, I'm posting a lot. Like, and it's like, no, bro, are you taking your one song and making 10 pieces of content with it? Like, are you doing different forms? Are you being creative? Are you eating donuts? Are you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like stuff like that. And I think one thing that you kind of brought up too that made me think of something. As artists, you got to look at content like the way you make music. Like, I feel like artists can relate, and this isn't because I'm a producer too, so I ain't trashing other producers. But if a producer send you a beat and it doesn't hit you in the first few seconds, you're probably not making a song to it. So it's like you gotta treat that content the same way. It's like do you look at your own video and think I'm gonna watch the whole thing? If I edit a video and I get bored watching it, I probably don't post it. Like, I'm probably gonna re-edit it because I'm like, if I'm getting bored of it, I know everybody else getting bored of it too. Like, it ain't just me. So that's why I say I think artists really gotta focus on that personally.
And it's crazy. That ties back into what we were saying about like long form content, people's attention, because like even in a movie, like I said, we consume media different, right? In a movie, we'll watch. I'm a movie person, bro. So like I will watch a movie for 20 minutes before I'm like, this ain't it.
Yeah, that's fast.
Some people that's like 3 minutes. And it's like, no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like you got to think. You talking to myself, love cinema, love long form things. Mm-hmm. You're willing to buy in and eat the first 20 minutes because you know the rest of the movie like is lining up for a great hour and 20 after, or
that's
like
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Now downsize that to the generation to now.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, you got 3 seconds.
Literally.
Like you got 3 seconds, bro, and you feel me? And it's like, while it's not discouraging, I think it does incentivize the artist to kind of, like you said, kind of be creative and be seen.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say be creative is because I just know personally for me, when a lot of artists see it as like dumbing down the content or like dumbing down your music. And it's like when you have that mindset, you're going to hate it. Like I used to hate making content because I felt like it was just a dumbed down version of promotion. But it was like, well, if I make it interesting, I make it cool, I make it look cool, people are not going to care. Like, it's basically like, no, like people don't like the idea of marketing, but if it works, you're going to keep doing it, right?
It's like, it's the compromise of like, okay, you may feel like this is dumb, but how much of it is adaptability versus like selling your soul? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, that's a fact.
And that's what I mean. Like even when you said that, like I really enjoyed when you said the thing about the donuts, because you're like shock factor. You're like it, you don't got to go like punch somebody in the face for shock factor. You just do something random. You know what I'm saying? Like I forgot what I was bringing that back to, but yeah, I did agree with that. I like that the shock value is like do something random that's like, because he and I was talking about that too. We were talking about things of how we wanted to get bigger.
Yeah.
And we would always have the conversation like, okay, like that's a good idea, but like, is that off brand? You know what I'm saying? Like, but is that like?
That's a great question.
You know what I'm saying? Talk a little bit about that, kind of walking that line of like, I know I got to do something different, right? Let's not say it's selling your soul. I got to do something different, something out of the box, something I'm not used to. But at the same time, like I'm not about to just be out here clown dancing for these niggas on TikTok. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
like,
a fact. No,
so, you know what I'm saying? So
no,
like,
that's a great point because every artist looks at TikTok. Well, I wouldn't say now. I think it's changed now. But I would say like during quarantine, people was like, "Oh, I'm not going to dance to my music on TikTok." Like, why would I? I'm not a dancer. I'm an artist. So at first, I get it. Like I felt that same way too. But I think to answer the real question you was talking about what's going above your, like I wouldn't say limits, but like what's kind of going out your moral compass. I think for me, it's I remember a friend of mine. I don't know if he remembers, but when I had the song Prada,
bro, that's what we was slapping all day today.
That
song
Prada?
Fucking slaps, bro.
Thank you, bro.
That song slaps.
That story, how that's. Can I tell a story real quick?
Absolutely.
So, I'm gonna start the story like this. I'm not anybody who was a part of the story. This is not trash talking. It just.
I love these stories.
Yeah, listen. I love everybody, man. I have no problem with nobody because I mean I know real life happens. So, I remember my man's Kiko. He sent me the beat. Shout out to him. And he just like he knew I was versatile, so he said, "Yo, try something different." I said, "Okay, bet."
On the Prada beat you're talking about.
Yeah, on the Prada beat. Like I haven't like the beat was a little bit different than my usual stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. And he sent them, I'm like, yo, this is hard, yada, yada. Went to the studio, recorded it, liked it, but I only had one verse done. So I had a hook, verse, hook, and then I had an open verse. Because in my mind, I'm like, I want somebody on the feature. Okay. Now, at first, I was going to get Mir on it. But that was when, we had a conversation off.
He fucking killed that joint.
He would have went crazy, too. He
would have went crazy on that song.
But remember, like, we had that conversation off mic, like, I could have sent him that trap beat. He would have snapped. But then why not give him something different, throw him a little curveball? So then I was like, dang, I don't know who I'm going to get on this. So I reached out to a few Jersey artists, and a few was like, yeah, I rock with it. It's hard. Just send it through. I sent it. And I never got an open verse back from nobody. And I was like, dang, like maybe it was wrong timing. Maybe the song ain't really all that, yada, yada. And then I was in the studio again. And I was like, okay, let me do the verse. Like, I'll make something hard to it because I need something for on the radar.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too. Bro.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, and I was just like, I will need something for on the radar. And the other song I had was Jersey Club, but like, and I loved it, but Prada, it just had a different essence to it. So I just did the second verse. It was hard. I said, bet. Went down to Miami, did it on the radar, and then the rest is history.
That's fire, bro.
Thank you.
Talk about your on the radar experience. Talk about that.
Man, first of all, shout out to Gabe and all of them on the radar. They're cool. Like, they're real cool people. It was the On the Radar tour, and a lot of people, I find it funny. I don't know if people know this. I went to the Miami stop.
Okay.
Now, one thing about me, I'm impatient. I'm if I could work on it now, I'll work on it now. Like, they would have said, yo, Deige, come to Miami tomorrow to do the On the Radar. I'm finding a way out there. So they were having a Philly stop and a Miami stop. The Miami stop was a whole 2 or 3 months earlier, and I knew that the way On the Radar posts, the tours took a little bit to get posted. So if I would have waited to go to the Philly stop, Prada might have never dropped until like December. And I was like, nah, like I need this to be out before Thanksgiving. I need this before the holidays. I can't afford to have to worry about dropping around the holidays. So then I told my team about it. It's like, bet, we'll go down there. My guy Pesh went down there too. Shout out to him. And then we went out there and we killed it.
How does it work in terms of like you reach out to them and request to be on and they have to approve you of like?
So there's 2 ways that they do it. It usually goes with like them choosing, but most times they'll either reach out to you just like, hey, you got this motion. We'll reach out to you. I did it before I really had like motion like that personally. So I did the tour where I reached out to them through email, and then they saw my stuff and they got me on there. That's the hard thing is they don't always answer everybody. So it was a blessing. Like when they answered like that same day, I said, whoa, like.
Same day.
Yeah, I was shook. Like I literally sent like my one man's YKYs. He was like, "Yo," like another artist from Jersey. He was like, "Yo, you should go on the radar," and they got the dates. Yada yada. Just email them. I said, "Bet." I emailed them, and the same day he's like, "All right, like cool." And I was like, "Whoa." I thought I'd be waiting for like a week, a month, something like that.
When you were on, was Drake already on it at this time?
Yo, that's funny you say that.
All right.
Literally, I was booked to be on there. And then a few weeks go by. A few weeks go by, and then Drake and Central C are on the radar. I said, what? And then I was tight. I'm at the Miami studio that they was at, right? And they was like, oh yeah, we had some good people come in. We had Sean Kingston's artists. We had a few other artists, and we had Sexy Red the day before y'all. I said, what's the case that I come the day after? She did her On the Radar. I was like, dang. That's wild. Yeah, that opened my eyes. I'm like, yo, I'm really here. Like, it was dope to really be in the same space as artists that are, doing big things. So that was a real blessing.
When you do something like On the Radar, bro, and then you come back to Jersey.
Yeah.
What does that do for your confidence? What does that do for your just approach towards music? Like, what does that do?
I think that On the Radar experience happened at the perfect time in my life because I won't lie, I'm a big overthinker, especially when I was growing up. I can explain more about that in a little bit, but like I was always a very big perfectionist. So like even when the On the Radar thing happened, like I didn't get to see the video until the day it was dropping. So I'm like, yo, if I look crazy, if this looks bad.
Anxiety the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because in my mind, I'm like, yo, are they going to send the clips before it gets posted? And I got the day of, they was like, yo, we dropping this time. Here's the clips. You ready? I'm like, I guess so. I'm like, I don't got no choice.
Were you able to post before them?
Nah, so
you had to wait like a certain.
I didn't even do it because I know you do the collab post, John. Yeah. So I was like, they literally said you're On the Radar is gonna get posted on this time on Instagram and it'll get posted this time on YouTube.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? I ain't gonna touch none.
Okay.
So I was just hyped to even get posted on the page for real.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't even mess with it.
Bro, an artist from Lumberton, New Jersey is on the Radar.
That.
Bro, talk to us about first kind of talk to us about Lumberton. Like,
Yeah.
show us how it is not a resourceful place for artists, right? It's just like, you feel me? And then, like, you're now an artist from this place on the same platform that Drake was on the same platform that Lil Yachty was on the same platform that, you know what I mean? All these artists have been on. So talk to us about Lumberton first, and then we'll kind of get into this, like, the kind of the contrast of the two.
Yeah, no, facts. I think for me, with Lumberton, it's very quiet, very suburban, like, a very safe area. So it's like, but I think one thing that Lumberton really taught me is it taught me how to do things on my own. Because I think the one disadvantage that I got from being there was just not even the aspect of being sheltered, but it's like I didn't have the access of like, oh, like, you know, all my boys is, you know, right up the street. Let's just go up there. Like, you know, I might need to drive for my parents, or like, you know, okay, maybe they're not free at the moment. Maybe I got to wait for another day to go see them type of situation. So I was really spending a lot of my time, you know, I had a lot of friends, like really like kind of on my own, just creating. And I remember when I got into music, it's like, I remember it was a studio 10 minutes away. And that was a blessing because back then, South Jersey didn't have a lot of studios.
Yeah, it still kind of doesn't have that many.
It doesn't have that many. It don't have enough. And I remember it was like 2 or 3 studios. It was one in Cherry Hill, one in Mount Holly, and it was called Blue Light. And I was just going there as a youngin'. And the one thing about my area was, I don't know, this is true. I feel like I was one of the first few people that was really trying to be a rapper in my age demographic. I know it was people older than me that was trying to rap, but I would say like in my age demographic at the time, like I was frowned upon as like rapping. It's like, really? Well, I don't want to say frowned upon. I wasn't good. I ain't gonna lie. When I first started, I was trash. I was trash, but I just loved it. So it was like I was doing it, and then what I love about Lumberton now is other people. Well, I'll say Brown County, because I wouldn't say a lot of large people in Lumberton, but just that kind of surrounding area. More people started rapping. More people was like, yo, like, you know, let's do some music. Like, I was hyped to see that because growing up in, like, middle school, high school, like, I was the oddball rapping. It's like, why is he, like why is he rapping? Like, and then other people start rapping, too. And a lot of people would be like, oh, now y'all trying to ride a wave. No, I was happy. I said, I'm probably not the only person. Yeah. I felt, like, weird, like, trying to, like, record myself in the basement by myself. Like, and then other people started getting into it, and it was dope.
Keep it a bean, bro. Mm-hmm. Do you not hate, that's an aggressive word. Do you ever feel like you start a trend and then someone starts doing it and then you're kind of like, you're doing that because of me?
Funny enough, nah.
You never felt that way?
Nah. To be honest, I'm such a humble guy that I would probably have the mindset of like, you know, maybe he didn't get it from me, or maybe she didn't get it from me. Like,
can I be honest? Can I say what I'm getting right now?
What?
I think you have had these thoughts, but I think you are able to quickly combat them with maturity and say, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with humbly recognizing, like, I probably influenced that.
No, I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you walk around like, nigga, that's my shit. Like, now it's like, all right, you're dragging it. But, like, it's okay that you can have inspired someone to do something, and it's okay that you're credited to that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a...
I think for me, I never cared too much because, one, there's one thing I've realized in music especially, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, we're all inspired by something, or, like, you might do something new, but it's inspiration from something. And also, like, most of the people that I have inspired, they reached out to me and was like, yo, like, you're the reason why I make content.
Love type
like,
shit.
I don't think I've really ran into people that was, like, jacking what I was doing and then wasn't showing me love back. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's one thing I will give to, like, especially people out in Jersey. Like, plenty of people have been like, yo, like, I've been seeing your content. Like, it motivates me to create content for my music. So I think that's why I never really had that type of feeling for real.
I feel like Jersey's full of people who don't support until... Yeah. I don't even want to say until the cosign.
Depends.
I kind of feel like just until they get closer to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
I feel like that's a larger barrier really than... Like, that's really the crabs in the barrel right there, I think. It's just like... I know I'm from Lumberton, right? Like, I know Deige. I don't know him.
Yeah.
But I have seen him.
Yeah.
I've seen his name.
Mm-hmm.
And I think where the energy kind of gets cut off is like, I don't know him, so therefore, like, I just know of him.
Yeah.
I'm not really that inclined to reach out further. I'm not that inclined to, like, be a true fan of his shit unless I, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that. I think the one thing that kind of hurts, and I think a lot of people deal with this with their hometown, is I know other artists can relate. Seeing your Spotify numbers and not seeing like your state as one of the as like the number one, it's like, dang, like, y'all really not mess with me like that. But I realized like it's grown over time. And I think the real blessing was I went to school outside of Jersey. I went to Widener University, so I was in Chester, PA, but I was always in the Philly music scene. So people are like, oh, this is Deige from Philly. I'm like, nah, like, I'm not from Philly. Like, people gonna curse me out if I say I'm from Philly. Like, I'm from Jersey. And I think once people started giving me more respect outside of my state, I was getting more respect in, like, Maryland, Baltimore area, and then Philly area. Then people from Jersey was like, yo, I've been seeing you going crazy. Like, you here. Like, I think once, because I think a lot of things with Jersey, a lot of people are just kind of, like, hometown artists. So when they see, like, oh, okay, like, he's going different places for music, or, like, oh, okay, he's getting love from different places, I think that's when people are like, yo, like, I see it. Mm-hmm. And that's not a diss to anybody who is a hometown artist. It's just, like, not everybody. I had the luxury of going to college outside of school and growing my music brand outside of it. So it's, like, I think that's really helped me to get more love in Jersey.
I was going to talk to you about that, bro, because I was actually talking to, I don't know if you've heard the artist Jay Howe. He's from South Jersey as well. Mm-hmm. I was just talking to him today. Yeah. And he was saying how, like, just like in New Jersey, it's not, we don't have a city, right? So, like, in the larger forms, like, we have, like, let's say, just like Chicago. Like, the city a lot of times is the offset to the suburbs.
Yep.
And that's where the clear contrast is. But when you're in a place like New Jersey and we don't have a city, a major city at least, it feels like almost like a lot more like tribal, where it's like how we talked about earlier, right? Like, if you're hot in Philly, you're hot in Philly.
Yeah.
Just
straight like that.
You know what I'm saying? You're hot in the city. If you're hot in Atlanta, you're hot in Atlanta. If you're hot in Chicago, you're hot in Chicago. Yeah. It's not like so compartmentalized where it's like the equivalent to us, how divided we are, would be like if Philly had like a North Philly scene, a South Philly scene, a Germantown scene, right?
Yeah.
And none of those people fucked with each other. You know what I'm saying? And none of them. So you got all these towns, and it's almost like they might as well be different countries because it's just so divided. Like, it's so like.
That's a fact.
And I say that to say I think we get hit harder with it in a suburban place like this because. That's why, to circle back to my other point, that's why it starts to become what I feel is like relationship. Because like everybody you know in New Jersey, because it's not a big city where it's like, okay, sure, this person's from LA. You might not know them because they're just from the city of LA, which is huge, right? Mm-hmm. New Jersey, we kind of feel more entitled to know the people that we should know because we're all small town people, right? So like, I should be able to fucking know Deige and call him. And if I can't, okay, I don't mean he's ass. It's just I'm not really willing to invest that far out.
That is not in Jersey. You're right. Yeah. I think the funny part about that scenario, and I had this conversation with my people in Philly all the time. I'm like, do you realize I never had to take a SEPTA to go to school, or like take like public transit. Like if I need to go somewhere, it wasn't Ubers like that when I was growing up. So it's like if my parents couldn't take me and no one can take me, it's like, what am I going to do?
Call a dub.
Like call a taxi.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not calling a taxi in middle school, like high school, like it just wasn't going to happen. So I think the problem with Jersey is what you said. Like we need like a big city in South. I think North kind of has like Jersey City and stuff like that.
And shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they have like bigger cities, not major cities. Yeah. I think if South Jersey had like a city that was like a hub for like creatives and artists and stuff like that, then you don't run into a situation of like, oh, I don't know Deige from Lumberton because what's Lumberton? It's like, well, it don't matter because he's always in this city in South Jersey. Like, I don't know, like let's just say like
he's around.
Yeah, like I don't know where Lumberton is, but he's always in Cherry Hill. like let's just say like in theory like Cherry Hill was like that middle ground for all artists in the South Jersey. It could be.
We gonna talk to this nigga after, bro. We gonna explain to him what the fuck is going
saying,
on. You know what I mean?
Cherry Hill has so much potential because it's right next to the bridge, and I mean you got like Cherry Hill Mall, and you got like very nice places that like. And it's also a lot of low key studios in Cherry Hill too. Yeah. So it's like Cherry Hill could be that place.
Yeah, we got to get some unity there, man. That's part of like I said, we'll talk after. He and I have a really strong kind of passion about this topic in particular.
Okay.
It's kind of the basis of our not only podcast but our media company.
Okay.
But moving forward, because we can talk about this forever. Can a label approach you, Deige? Can a label approach you?
Yeah.
They can approach you. They'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
Immediately, without talking details. Immediately, if I said Deige, this label wants to talk to you. They want to sign you. Mm-hmm. I don't know the stipulations. I don't know what the details are, but they want to sign you.
Yeah.
Are you optimistic that is a beneficial contract to you, or are you immediately kind of just at least mentally in your head when you hear that you're kind of like they're gonna try to fuck me out of some 360 deal that fucking sucks, or like.
So here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
I would be open to listen, but for full transparency for myself, I'm still building my fan base. So it's like followers are cool and like likes are cool. But, like, nothing matters in a physical ticket and a physical fan. So, for me, it's like I want to be at a point where I can have, like, consistent people popping out to all my events and shows before I want to take a deal like that. Because just from what I've learned from other people, like, it isn't really a label's job to get fans. Like, they're supposed to help with the motion you got already. So, it's like
you should be coming with something to them already.
Exactly. So it's like if I want to not get in a 360 where I'm kind of stuck in this rat race trying to make money back, it's like, can I even make money by myself? Like, can I even pull, an easy 50 to 70 people to an event, like just like that? And it's like, I've had times where I've had high people come out, low people come out, like just full transparency. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people, they look at the followers and they're like, yo, like, once I get like this number, like, that's a hit. But, like, I got a lot of my followers off, like, earlier when I was posting content. And then once I kind of fell off, real life happened. I was in college. A lot of those people fell off on me. So it's like, I got people that have been rocking with me for a minute. But I'm also building the groundwork to be like, okay, like, even though I got this number of followers, how can I make sure those old people still see my stuff? And I'm getting new people, too. So a label, I will listen to it. But it would really have to make sense to where, like, they're really trying to build me as an artist and just, let's throw him $1 million and then hope that he can make $1 million plus interest back next year. Like, I don't know. And,
What's non-negotiable in that whatever that contract is with?
My likeness. Because in all transparency, my name, Deige, it wasn't my name first. One of the reasons why I do music is my grandfather. He passed many years ago.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
That's all good. And it's like, I remember making music, and he'd be the first person to be like, yo, like, let me hear the new music made in the studio. Like, he was like my first fan. So whenever it comes to that, like, he was Big Deige, I was Deige. And it's like, you're not going to take my likeness and take that name away from me if something was to happen. And I'm a very nonchalant, calm guy. I don't really get into, like, being like I'm not the hardest person to deal with, but, like, that's something, like, non-negotiable. Like, that's my name, his name, my family's name. So I don't, when it comes to my likeness, that's really serious to me.
All right. It's time for our Break a Soul segment. So we have a segment on our show where we like to break artists' souls, and we like to show them that they are not as morally sound as they think they are. Very high success rate.
I'm scared. I failed the first one.
Yeah. We almost break a whole group live, like on camp. Not literally, but like there was an argument and shit like that about the contract. I was like, look, like, you feel me?
Hey, that's content.
Yeah, I like to break artists. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey.
So Deige, welcome to This Side Records. My name is Jerry Applebaum. I'm the CEO here at This Side Records. So we've heard your records. We've heard the EPs. They're really great. However, we hear you say that, we can't take your likeness, right?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of got to keep the name. We'll let you keep the name. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need to be able to have an opinion in the songwriting process. So what that might look like is maybe you have a hook that you are really passionate about, and we're like, we kind of need to change it.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in Ty Dolla $ign. He's going to help you fix this up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you keep the name. We'll keep the likeness is always there. I know that's the one thing that is immovable to you.
Mm-hmm.
You keep your name.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a little bit of hand in the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a deal, Deige?
No. Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I'm about to say, I know that's not the only thing.
Yeah.
It only gets worse.
Yeah.
That's a softball, but still, I would have to hear the rest.
All right, this is what I do for you, Deige. This is what I do for you. On your first album, you won't be the only writer. You won't be the only writer. Meaning you're right. You won't be the only writer.
In
the credits, it's not like their name's gonna go on the top of the album, but in the credits, you will see writers and you'll see other people's names there.
Okay, what else?
We need you to tour.
What's that again?
You got to tour.
Okay.
2 tours. We'll give you. All right. This is what we'll do. You are responsible to return to us $50,000 before you start profiting. But once you return to us that $50,000, we will guarantee you $1 million for 2 albums.
And this doesn't count for marketing budgets at all either, right?
Nope.
That just touring budget.
It's more. So it's touring budget.
Okay. What
Give you
else?
$1 million. 2 albums.
Okay. I mean, listen. If we're doing a real life scenario, I need my lawyer because I need him to break down every single thing.
Soon as you know,
I need everything broken down to me.
soon as they start talking lawyer, we deflect. You know what I mean? We don't like the lawyer talk. You know, we like to believe that we do good enough business that you know you don't need your lawyer, right? You don't need your lawyer. Deige.
Yeah.
You can just sign the contract, eyeball it, skim it, make sure it has the numbers are right, and then sign. You know what I mean? But if I'm being honest, Deige, it feels like you asking for a lawyer is like you don't trust me for some reason, and I kind of feel. I think here at This Side Records, I think we kind of get offended at that a little bit. You know what I mean? I think. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah. And in all honesty, like I can see where you're coming from. I'm doing it more for me, just simple fact that I'm always looking to learn more business wise. So me going into a conversation about myself, kind of just agreeing on something, I want to know the ins and outs just to make sure for my own intellect that I know what's going on.
This nigga's too sharp. I don't think we could get him. All of them here at This Side Records. This nigga's he's calculated. We're not fucking with him. I mean, all right, Deige.
Thank you.
I'm confident you won't sign a shitty somewhere in your near future. I'm confident that you will sign a contract, but I'm confident that you won't sign a shitty one.
So, hey, to give you a little bit, I'm signed to a small.
Are you real? Talk about that.
Yeah. Shout out to Blue Collar. They're basically like my team that's been helping a little bit from my own collective Neon, more of just Deige. We still got things to talk about, more things planned, but I will say like they have helped in certain areas. But I'll just to give myself a pat on the back. A lot of the content stuff, social media stuff, that's all me. They kind of help with more of the back end, like copyright, releasing the song out, things like that.
Administrative stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out Blue Collar, man. Yeah. Shout out Blue Collar.
Okay.
Bro, tell me what's your favorite work, bro, of yours?
My favorite.
What's your favorite work? Whether it's a song, whether it's an EP, whether it's what's your favorite?
I think, in all honesty, my favorite is, I would say, Letter to My Past. That song's my favorite, not even because of the song, just of how it was created. Like, that was a song that I think took me months to create when it comes to the beat and just writing the song, because it was really like real life scenarios I was going through. And I just love the timeline of like, I know like what time in my life I was when I made it. And then seeing it being released, I was like, this is kind of dope. Like, this is my first song that I produced that was dropped by the label. And then it was about an actual message. It wasn't just like I'm just trying to get clicks. So.
Wow. You got a big body of work. That's why I was curious. I was curious what your favorite was. What your favorite was.
Yeah, it ain't. I feel like it changes a lot though. Like I might change that answer in 2 weeks. No cap.
I feel like every artist says that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's my favorite shit, but you ask me tomorrow,
Bruh,
it might
it's-
be.
Right. You gotta think. It's like asking me what's my favorite kid. Like imagine asking the father like, oh yeah, what's your favorite kid?
There's an answer to that, bro.
Some-
I
like-
feel like you should tell the kid straight up, bro. I'm being dead ass, bro.
I'll be honest. If you have an answer, you should be honest.
I think you should tell him straight up. You should tell him why.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, yeah, because you want to show through your actions anyway, right?
Yes.
You want to choose that kid a little bit too much to get away.
And how do you know it won't be productive? Like, how do you know they like you won't say something like, here's like this is why though, and they're like, oh shit, the whole time I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you be fixing shit, bro.
You might make a villain story though. He might turn into a villain.
Nah, bro.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
Nah. But I mean, listen, they might have a crazy career. They're like, oh yeah, my dad ain't like me. Yada. And now they in the league. So it could be either
Now that you're
or.
saying it, I do think the downside is larger than the upside.
Yeah,
I'm
like
telling you, now
yeah,
you're saying that.
yeah, like that sounds amazing, but the downside could really just be I just don't rock with the whole family.
Because, to your point before, I'm thinking like, okay, like think like Meek, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be shitty to you and then you're gonna become Meek Mill, then I think there's some upside
it didn't
there.
work.
But if I'm gonna be shitty to you and you're gonna be a rapper, you're gonna suck, and you're not even gonna be that good, you're not gonna take off. It's like,
Yo, that's a
you know what I'm saying?
That'd
Like
be-
you have to become Meek.
that's what I'm saying. Like
You
yeah.
feel me?
I'm not gonna
Like-
lie, your come up better be crazy.
Crazy, bro.
Crazy.
And I think you're less likely to become Meek,
Yeah.
just statistically speaking.
Yeah. The percentage of rappers out now.
Yeah, like
you could be really great and still not be me.
there's like one Meek in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good point. It's a lot of upside.
Wow. I'm a teacher, and I tell my students that they're or not my favorites, and I explain to them why.
That's real.
Yeah.
I like that blunt honesty because people can't take honesty.
Because I just feel like
Wait, how old are the kids?
they're juniors in high school.
Okay. If you would say they're younger, I'd be like, whoa.
No, yeah, like they're at an age where it's like,
Yeah.
like I'm not being funny. I'm legit telling you that I do like this person more than you, but here's why.
You know, you want to know why I respect you?
You know what I mean?
Because at least you give a description of why. People will say it and then just walk away with it.
It's all in the delivery, bro.
Yeah.
If I said Deige, leave,
Yeah.
you'd be like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
If I was like Deige, leave, not because I'm being rude to you, but because like a bomb's gonna go off in 30 seconds, you should probably
I'm
go.
leaving.
Right? Yeah. When I say the first leave, you're kind of just like, okay, that was kind of off color, that was kind of standoffish,
Yeah,
right?
I'm like,
it's
what-
all in
what
the
I
delivery.
do? Yeah,
Exactly,
that's
it's
a
all in
fact.
delivery, bro. Tell them why, explain it. They feel like, you know what I mean?
You know, corny enough. That relates to music too. It's all about delivery.
It's all about delivery. It's all about delivery. I'm telling you. Think about it. You have kids?
Nah.
Okay. When you do, you will have. Do you believe you're gonna have favorites? That's you're lying if you say you don't have favorites. You're
Telling them that, like,
So
is a whole different.
so here's the
Can I-
thing. Do you feel like everybody has a favorite or they have favorite aspects of each child?
like, I
Like
think you have favorites. I think both.
you think both?
Both.
Okay.
I think you could be a favorite. Like so, for example, I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Number 1 is my favorite,
Okay.
but I do have favorite aspects to number 2 that number 1 doesn't have.
Does number 2 know that?
I think here's the thing. They're gonna know whether you tell them or in your actions.
You know that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like for example, if I'm in a room with my fiance,
Mhm.
right? You will be able to tell if I like my fiance.
That's
If you sat in that room and was like, I'm gonna only look at them for an hour. I'm just gonna look at them.
Yeah.
You will know if we like each other.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to say anything. We didn't have to tell you, but you know.
You just tell the eye contact.
Exactly. And then if after you made that assumption
Mhm.
and I came over and said, how do I feel about my fiance? You would probably be right to what you said based on what you saw.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So they're going to find out whether it's filling the cold shoulder of love,
Mhm.
whether it's like the kid that you always ask to kind of do shit with, like, yo, I'm about to go to the store, you want to come? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to kind
Yeah.
of peep, like, yo, like,
That's true.
you feel me?
You know, that's a fact. That's a fact. I would at least try to like shield it off a little bit, like, cause I think for me, like, I'll be able to find the aspects that I love in both kids, so it wouldn't be seen as like, well, I'm saying this now as a bull with no.
Yeah, we
kids.
have no idea. We got
right.
kids. And
So you're right. You know what? We go ahead with this conversation whenever that happens.
In
And
like 30 years.
yeah,
It's like, nah.
listen, I ain't ready. So you might be
Me
right.
neither, bro. Me neither, bro. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm just like, I feel like I'm too selfish with my time and energy. There's days when I want to come home and like not even like wash. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I don't want to have a kid?
That's real. That's real.
You know?
It's like I gotta feed you and myself.
And I'm gonna have an attitude. Yeah, like
Exactly.
I'm gonna have an attitude. I just need to accomplish some things first. You know what I mean?
Nah, facts.
All right. Anyway, let me ask you this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want from this music stuff? What do you want? Like, what's the goal?
My goal.
A Grammy. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like you want a Grammy?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like I want a Grammy. In true transparency, I really want to be known in Jersey. Like, I want people to be like, whoa, like, there's a top artist in South Jersey. Like, what even is that? Like, I feel like that's a big flex. But then the next step after that would be the Grammy, the award nominations. Yeah, and then I think also, so I'm very versatile, it would be getting it in different areas. Like, I don't know, like, you know, I'm part of a big film doing something. Like, either I'm on the soundtrack or I'm even doing, like, you know, film work for them. Like, I want to be known for multiple different aspects in the entertainment industry, but music's my number one.
And when you achieve these things, you feel like you can like almost like stop.
No. So that's the only thing. Like, for me, the way I'm looking at life right now, even when I accomplish things now, like, people hate me because I don't say never, but I rarely celebrate. Like, I'll do something, but, oh, yeah, that was dope, but, like, what's next? It's like, like, fam. Like,
Short memory, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, fam, like, you just did something great. Like, calm down. It's like, nah, but, like, there's greater things out there. So I feel like I would find something to be like, oh, well, I got this Grammy, but, like, nah, maybe I need this. And I can see myself being on that type time.
We had a conversation with one of the artists that we had on the past podcast or the live podcast, and they were saying how like they fell in love with the passion of doing things, and then kind of like the rewards from those things become just kind of like souvenirs almost more than anything because you just kind of get caught in doing right and creating and being inspired in the work to where like there isn't really an accolade or an achievement that can make you stop because it's just that's why I was asking you, like, would you stop after you got a Grammy? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I couldn't see myself doing it. Yeah. I really like couldn't.
Jersey collabs.
Jersey
collabs. What's your dream? Here's the thing too. What I'm also into. I do a lot of manifesting, right? And I like to try to be responsible for a lot of like networking things that happen.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you say this, and then I'm gonna post probably a clip of you saying this, and I'm gonna try to get the person who you say to see it.
You gonna hear my answer then?
Just to kind of give the plan to the cameras, the total plan of what is about to happen.
You gonna hate my answer, but I need a scissor hook. Bad.
All right, let's downsize.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Scissor had the album of the year last year.
That's what I'm saying.
You agree? Shake my fucking hand, boy.
Well, actually,
never mind.
Well, wait. I give you top 5, but I don't know if I give you number
5?
1. Yeah, I don't know if I give you number 1.
He's wild, right? I'm
number 1
album of the year. There's put it like this. There's 1 or 2 that you could say like that's that one. It's like okay, that's reasonable to say. Yeah. But to even be a nominee for me to be saying you have the album of the year, you're already like that's an elite class. It's like saying, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, with the exception of 1 or 2 albums, but statistically, it actually probably was the best album of the year. She should have beat Taylor Swift at the Grammys.
Oh no, she should be
a few times. Yeah. In the Billboard Top 100,
you know how that goes,
bro. In the Billboard Top 100, hear me out. The song came out in the album came out in either October or November of 2022.
Bro, her song "Kill Bill"
is when it has
been on there for.
That's one song, bro. That's one song. The album came out in October or November 2022. So what happens is when they do the rankings, if your album comes out in that month, it counts for the following year. It doesn't count for the 2022, right? Like it doesn't cut off December 31st. So obviously, when it first comes out, you're slapping it. The first month or two it comes out, but you're still in 2023. Yeah, that don't even count for. You know what I'm saying? The album had like 5 or 6 songs in the album that were on the top 100 in Billboard the entire year.
That's ridiculous.
Mind you, the album came out the end of 2022.
And remember?
Which means it was playing all of 2022. And then into 2023, still, the entire year, which the Grammys of 2023 just ended. Yeah. 5 or 6 songs of the album charted
Yeah.
the entire year.
I will give it to you though.
Like never were not on the chart
did she drop a single?
for the album.
Yeah.
I think Kill Bill was a single. Kill Bill Snooze was a single.
You're right.
You're right. Then Doge hopped on the remix and snapped.
Yeah, she snapped on the
I don't
remix.
take Doja slander.
Yeah.
I don't take
Hey,
no Doja
I ain't
slander.
gonna lie, she be doing some
She's
crazy
weird.
stuff,
I don't take no slander.
but
though.
she's talented.
She's a better rapper than every female rapper that's out right
Her
now.
last album was pretty good.
Say it again. Shirt.
Oh yeah, and
Shirt, yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
and shirt.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm tripping, but you're right though. Like those are all like that album didn't have any misses.
It had 0 misses. If you look at my 2023, bro, I'm gonna show you this on camera. You know how they do the Spotify?
Wait, you said what?
You know how they do the Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah.
Like your top songs?
Wait, Paul, I want to hear. Who do you think had the best album then? Gunna's album was good though.
It was a good album. That's one of the ones I'm like, okay, if you say that, cool. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a good album.
Look at my 2023 of Spotify.
Hey.
You see Caesar, this is SZA's album cover right here, right?
Yeah.
I pretty much only listen to SZA and Russ the entire year last year, right? Look at my
Russ
top
is
23
underrated,
songs.
too.
That's 3 songs off the album right there. That's top 3.
Okay.
That's another song off the album. That's
that
another song
that
off
Russ
the album.
album was good.
That's another song off the album. 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 Boom, boom. I was only listening to SZA, the album, and like letting it play. No
I'm
skips.
not even mad at you. I had to, when I listen to that album, I do listen to it in full. I don't really listen to just the singles like that.
Yeah, I kind of don't like the singles, to be honest.
I liked. See, this is gonna really show me. Let's show who I am. I like
the album.
I like T-shirt because it was popping on TikTok first.
That's fine.
I heard that snippet. I was like, when is this dropping? And she made bulls wait
That's fire.
months. So when that came out, I was like, oh, I love this song. But I feel like if I did listen to it as just like the album coming out, it wouldn't be my favorite. But that shows what content can do.
I also realize that timing matters.
That's true.
So
too.
like and it's subjective, so you can't really use it in an argument, like when you're talking to people, like to,
Yeah.
you know. But like where you are specifically in that moment and when you start listening to it also matters in that.
That's a good.
You
point.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
a good
Like,
point. And I remember, I know we was talking about Tory earlier. His '80s album didn't that come out like? Did that come out? Yeah, but did that come out? Did that come out before the summer? It
I
came.
don't know when it came out.
All I know is the timing that it came out perfect timing because of the weather. I can't explain it.
No, I feel you. You don't have to explain it because I
Yeah.
fucking feel you.
The original album came out in 21.
The Alone at Prom.
Oh, the deluxe.
I think it was kind of old. Yeah, I thought it was kind of old. You gotta think, bro. I feel like you gotta think around the Meg shit. Like he dropped the, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
that was kind of like a while
That's
ago, bro.
Great point.
Right, the Daystar shit, which was hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a fact.
yeah. Tori's another person who I feel similar to you about in terms of like the work ethic. Like he drops a lot of music and a lot of videos, bro. And he's one of the few artists. I would say like ASAP is one of these people.
Yeah.
I would say like Tory Lanez is one of these people. I would say like who's an artist that I think really still cares about music videos? Tyler, the Creator,
definitely.
but you know what I mean? Like this group of people who really still care about the art.
Yeah.
I look at certain artists like you in that regard because it's like you could tell there's so much going into it, and you almost, if you don't stop and think about how long these things had to take,
Yeah.
you almost will forget like, yo, these people are moving at like very fast speeds. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Meg shit came out for Tory,
Yeah.
he put out Daystar like what felt like the next day.
I was like, huh?
And he got songs talking about the whole it's like, how long did it take you to make this?
That's a good point.
You feel me?
That-
Like,
I didn't think about that.
bro.
Yeah.
And like clearly talk like
Literally.
giving I'm like, bro, this shit just happened last week.
Literally, like,
Or at least it dropped to us last week, but that's still a short amount of time for you to
and
have
bro wasn't
produced
talking,
this.
and then he just dropped the album. I was like, whoa. I was like,
You think Meg shot Tory?
you said what?
You think Tory shot Meg?
I think so.
You think he did?
Yeah. Well. So. So here's the thing. That's why I'm like. So here's my standpoint. And it doesn't get into full politics. Here's the thing. I love Tory as an artist, but he was in a situation where, you know, he was trying to have his cake and eat it too. Like, you messing with all these different joints at once. They all know each other. It gets you in a sticky situation. It's like, I feel like if it wasn't the intentions of, like, him doing all that stuff, he wouldn't be in a situation. Now, the only reason why I feel like it's true is just, like, if it wasn't, like, why hasn't like none of that been expressed? I know stuff has been coming on after he's been in, but back when I was even like, I don't know, I think it probably didn't happen. It's to the point like so many years into it, it's just like, how can I even defend like, oh, it ain't happening? It's like he's still been in his cell for so long. It's like, I don't know, but I know there's levels to it though, because people talk about like the people behind her and stuff like that could have hit it. It's a lot of layers, but
that's right. Yeah,
so
that's kind of my approach. And this is obviously outdated content. We're not going to use this to promote your upcoming album, but I kind of asked this question, kind of like it's almost like a conspiracy theory question, almost like it's kind of like, do you believe in like 9/11 or like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like asking that kind of question. I will say this. I don't know if I'm speaking with bias because
at first
Tory Lanez.
I had bias. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
But I don't know if I'm speaking with bias because I do like Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
But I don't think he shot her.
Okay, that's fair.
I think the girl in the car shot her.
I was thinking that first.
And the only reason I say that is because I don't know if you've seen the documentary. There's a documentary on this.
I haven't watched that.
It's a documentary on MG on Max. And in the documentary, bro, it gets to a point where I'm gonna butcher this, but maybe you'll try to get what I mean. In the documentary, they explain like the trial was looking good for Tory. Like it was like he was going to walk away like not getting charged, right? Mm-hmm. And when he got charged, it was kind of like a drop. Like I was like, what the fuck, kind of thing. Yeah. Apparently, something that happened was we'll wrap up, bro. I know we not like you know what I'm saying. Apparently, what happened was that, bro. When you're going to court, you have to say specifically what you are suing for.
That's true,
right? So if I say I'm suing Deige because for assault, he hit me, right? You can't add other crimes in that now because now it's solidified. You're going to court for him assaulting you.
Yep, just for that one crime.
For that crime, not for him stealing your car. You're not suing. Like you can't say these things, right?
Yeah.
So something happened in the documentary, and I'm gonna paraphrase it, where essentially what happened was the girl, her name I think is Kelsey, I think.
Yeah.
The girl was getting pressured to give testimony. Like it was late in, and she still was having to give testimony.
I do remember that.
And she said, it got to a point where she was like, "I will tell you what happened, but I want to be like cleansed of all crimes. Like I can't be convicted when I tell you what happens." Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The story on the table at the time was that Tory shot Meg. That's the case. Tory shot her. So when you come in and say, I'm going to tell you something, but I don't want to go to jail for it when it comes out, you're basically saying, I don't want you to switch this up now, and now you can come at me because you're now realizing that the case you currently have is shit because he didn't shoot her.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Because you can now open a new case. You could say, like, okay, I can't charge you for this. Now let's open the case on Kelsey versus Meg.
Yeah.
Right? So she was on some shit like, I'll tell you, but like I'm immune for whatever comes out. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of gave it away from me a little bit, but
I feel you.
Yeah.
It's just so hard because it's like at first I was like, nah, there's no way.
Yeah.
And then over time it's just like, fam, why are you even in that shit? Like, bro, he just got independent, going crazy on Guarantee Radio.
He was having a moment, bro.
He was having a moment.
I think he was breaking through.
Yeah, exactly.
He was breaking through.
Exactly. And he just got out his label contract. That was the big thing to me. Like, he became independent, was able to drop his own stuff. And it's a tough situation.
Yeah, man. All right, I just like to talk to people about that, see where they are. But tell us what's next, bro. What can people look forward to, man? What's on the horizon?
So, of course, like I've been talking about a whole podcast content. I'm really going like full steam ahead with everything on that regard. But last year I didn't really drop a lot of music. Just because of the internal stuff that was going on. But this year is going to be a lot more music and just a lot more shows, too. I'm trying to cultivate when I'm growing on social media and stuff and making people actually feel like they're a part of the experience of me and Deige. And just really just getting everybody acclimated to what's Deige and what's the brand Neon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Deige. Bro, thank you for sitting with us, bro. This has been very, very fulfilling, bro. Very inspiring. Until next time, y'all. I am your host. My name is Steven. I go by Ugly Steven on Instagram. Tap in, y'all. Until next time.